They call it the flight of the Concorde, the hardest shot in golf. A Concorde in golf is to score with one hole 4 under par. It can only be done on a par 5 or a par 6. It's pretty much impossible. And if you do it in a par 5, it would be a hole in one. In a par 6, it's up and down. And there's not many par 6s out there. So a Concorde hasn't really happened often in history. In fact, it's not even happened more than 10 times. But before we try to figure out all those times it happened in history and hoping that maybe you'll be the next, we need to understand what is a Concorde. Well, if you're keeping along with the Professor, you understand there's a theme of birds here, and a Concorde would fall right into that theme. A Concorde is a large bird. It's the largest flying land bird in the Western Hemisphere. It is known for its black and white neck feathers. It's a beautiful bird, and to help you understand here with the Professor, we're going to make the noise of the bird here. Sounds more unbelievable is the independent witnesses of all of these events. In one of those cases, they even seen it happen on the green. A Concorde is so rare that many people will never get a chance to even meet someone that has witnessed it, then alone has completed it themselves. Larry Bruce in 1962 on his hole-in-one on a par 5, the 5th hole of Hope Country Club. Sourcing from the World Golf Writings in 2005, credited by Larry Bruce, known for the first Concorde in golf. Taking place in 1962, Bruce hit the dog leg on the 5th hole of Hope Country Club in Arkansas. The hole is recorded at 480 yards, so it's not that bad. But obviously, this dog leg has driving opportunities, less distance to the hole, so he kind of cut the corners. Today, the scorecard shows 452 yards, and the carrying approach to the green looks more like 250. Interesting. Maybe me and you have a shot at this Concorde if you head over to Arkansas, a state I haven't played on the channel. Played 32 so far, so take a look at the channel. And it wasn't until 1963, 11 years later, until golf history had the next Concorde on a par 5 at the 5th hole in North Carolina, where Dick Hogan aced a beautiful par 5 at 456 yards, July 4th. Place on the 8th hole, the maintenance workers were nearby, and Hogan, to this day, or at least in the articles, never was really sure if someone played a joke on him. However, it was quoted that the day it was hard, the fairway, and it was certain to run if they got close. There was a dry spell, and the fairway was like a red clay. The ball just never stopped rolling. And that was the second Concorde in history. It wasn't until 1995 we saw the next Concorde on a hole-in-one on a par 5 of the 17th hole in the UK. So we finally have left the United States and headed over to Great Britain. Shaun Lynch was at the 17th hole at Chain Valley in the UK, where he teed off with a iron off the tee. It was about 496 yards, and he had a 3-iron walking up to the tee. By the time he walked back, the hole had a ball in the cup. He never had to cut the corner, and he said that the ball must have bounced on some hard ground and run. Lynch was not sure what had happened and even hit a provisional. To this day, the club installed a plaque identifying the historical moment in history for all its members to read. And we're going to drop that plaque right there. It's also in the Guinness Book of World Records. Moving into 2005, there's a little bit of consistency, so there seems to be more Concordes happening. Mike Crean on the 9th hole of a par 5 at Green Valley Ranch, where he aced on July 4th again in 2002. So there's some history with July 4th, fireworks and Concordes, clearly. Overall, this hole was 517 yards. The green was visible from the tee. No one's seen the ball go in. He ended up hitting a provisional. It wasn't until they headed on over to the cup and saw it in the cup. They realized they actually scored a Concord. At least this is what the story says. And again, on July 4th. People drink a lot on July 4th, too. It also should be noted that there was a line of sight between the tee and the greens, and no one interfered with the green at the time, so there's no excuse, apparently, from what they're saying. And the Denver high altitude played a big factor. There's 30-mile-per-hour winds that day. So let's head on out as we swing on over to Down Under, where Jack Bartlett, at the age of only 16, aced the 17th hole there at Wentworth Falls Country Club in 2007. It was a par 5 with a dogleg, the hole stretching 5,100 yards, but the dogleg obviously making it a little bit reachable for him to get on. Last Concord took place in history in 2002 at Lake Chibal at the 18th hole there. This is a wonderful way to get a Concord on the 18th hole, in my opinion, where Kevin Pond actually scored a Concord on a par 6 in 2 strokes. So this is the first time in history that has happened. This Concord was also witnessed and happened on the green with multiple spectators and even a course marshal there to see this rare feat. Now, the hole itself measured 650 yards from the white tees. At the end of the drive, there was a steep downhill with a cart path crossing the fairway. And because of this steep downhill, the shot just kept rolling and rolling off the tee, finally resting at over 500 yards. So the benefit of the doubt with this lucky bounce off the cart path left him with 110 yards, but a blind approach. For this, he would have used a pitching wedge, driver pitching wedge on a par 6 for a Concord, and all of a sudden people screaming, "Look, it's in the hole." Word went out, and everyone went crazy here at this facility. And if you made it this far, which most people don't, hit that subscribe button. Hopefully we'll go out, maybe even interview some of these folks that are still living that have completed this Concord event. This is an amazing piece of history. Each one seems true. It's written, documented. Unfortunately, we don't have any on camera, but rest assured, because of the growth of YouTube Golf and just people going out there and filming their swing, there's a really good chance that might happen in the next couple years. This is the Professor Independent Golf channel. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button. And more importantly, go play a little bit of golf today.